We can solve some equations using what's called the reciprocal. The reciprocal is when you flip a fraction upside down. For example, the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. The numerator became the denominator and the denominator became the numerator. The reason why this is helpful is because if you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, you get 1. So in this case, I would get 3/3, which is the same as 1. The reciprocal of 2/5 is 5/2. If I multiply 2/5 by 5/2, I get 10/10, which is 1. The same works for a negative. The reciprocal of -7/8 is -8/7. So when I multiply this, I get 56/56, which is 1. The reciprocal of 9/11 is 11/9. Multiply it together, I also get 1. This is helpful when we solve equations, because in this particular equation, if I were to multiply 4/3 by its reciprocal, it would become 1, and 1r is the same as r. So it's another way of canceling out a fraction. So I'm going to multiply this entire side by 3/4. The 4's cancel out and the 3's cancel out, leaving me with just r. I can do the same to the other side. Since I multiplied this side by 3/4, I have to multiply this side by 3/4. I'm going to put the 6/1. 3 times -6 is -18. 4 times 1 is 4. This is improper, so I'm going to divide it. 4 goes into 18 4 times, so the negative stays out front. 4 times 4 is 16, so there'd be 2 left over, so it'd be 2/4. And then I can simplify this by dividing 2 and 4 each by 2. So r is equal to -4.5. So for this one, I'm going to multiply it by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 6/5 is 5/6. The 6's cancel out and the 5's cancel out, leaving me just with u. Since I multiplied this side by 5/6, I have to multiply this side by 5/6. And put the 10/1. 5 times -10 is -50. 6 times 1 is 6. This is improper. 6 goes into 50 8 times. It's still going to be negative though. 6 times 8 is 48, so there'd be 2 left over. I'm going to simplify 2/6 by dividing the top and bottom by 2. So this becomes 8 and 1/3 is equal to u. On this one, the reciprocal of -4/3 is -3/4. So I multiply by the reciprocal because it all becomes 1. So I'm going to multiply over here by -3/4. And put the 10/1. So I end up with t is equal to -30 over 4. 4 goes into 30 7 times, so it's -7. 4 times 7 is 28, so there's 2 left over, 2/4. I can simplify that by dividing 2 and 4 each by 2, so I get -7.5. If you're using, or if you don't have a scientific calculator and you want to do the fractions on a calculator, I recommend Desmos Scientific Calculator. So you go to Google and search Desmos and then click on the scientific calculator, and there's an option. It looks like A over B, where you can type in fractions and it'll do it all there for you. It's a free online program.